Most cis women feel like their reproduction is the only thing they can offer. They're a female. That's all they have. And that's kind of sad that you boil yourself down to your fucking body parts. Hello?
And now something that was once yours, they're now claiming it. We have a trans person sitting in their car talking about how women no longer can really claim that they have periods, and that periods can be anything. So periods aren't exclusive to the female sex. But you don't have to hear it from me. We're going to hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
Here's the thing. We understand what the patriarchy is, right? They created the patriarchy, to put men in boxes and to put women in boxes. But the patriarchy is inherently misogynistic because women get treated like shit historically, right? And it's inherently transphobic. So the reason why period is so synonymous with bleeding is because they wanted to exclude trans people and non-binary people. Cis women are not the only ones that experience periods.
All right, let's stop right there for a second. You give them an inch, they take an entire freaking mile. Women let this happen. Because what they did was they let all the trans people in and they said, oh, yeah, you're a woman. Yeah, a man can be a woman just by saying that he wants to be a woman. We see it right here. Clear as day. Because now you feel so entitled to now put a video out to all women, to an entire freaking gender. I mean, there's only two real genders. But to one of the two. Yeah, that natural thing that happens to you guys all the time? Yeah, it's not exclusive to you anymore. It now belongs to us transgenders. That's what this person is saying. They're literally saying, oh, yeah, we can have periods too. Just because we can't bleed doesn't mean that we don't have periods. Like, what? They let this happen. It got this far. And I have a feeling that it's not going to stop anytime soon. That's the problem.
At the end of the day, whether it's hormones, whether it's your body producing hormones, whether you're a cis woman and have to take hormones, that hormonal period is valid. Not everybody bleeds. And I don't understand why wouldn't you want to be inclusive? Why are you trying to gatekeep? And it's because...
Now, before we continue, I need to go back to my stats that I put up here, because as soon as I heard that phrase, I said, did he really just use the phrase gatekeeping when referring to women not wanting to include transgenders when it comes to having periods? The goalpost moving from that community is insane. To use the phrase gatekeeping when talking about something that happens naturally with a gender, whether it's a woman or a man. This is the world that we live in now, guys. This is the sandbox that we let them play in for just a little too long. And now something that was once yours, they're now claiming it.
Most cis women feel like their reproduction is the only thing they can offer. They're a female. That's all they have. And that's kind of sad that you boil yourself down to your fucking body parts. Hello?
So again, you're talking about a man who's saying that he wants to be a woman, or is claiming that he's a woman, bashing an entire gender of women. Fam, it makes no sense. It makes entirely no sense.
We get our hormonal cycle once a month. If we want to call it a fucking period, we're going to do that. You're just a pig.
First of all, how do you get a hormonal cycle once a month and you're not a female? A real one. And then now you want to change the definition of periods. So now you want to say that periods aren't just bleeding. Periods aren't just what women are going through. Now you want to say that, oh, men can have it too. It's crazy. Like I said, man, you give them an inch, they take an entire fucking mile.
Me trying to collect your bag, act a fool, but it's going to be expanded just like a lot of things in a society. And if you don't like it, you can go over there with the Republicans and your little cishet people.
So now you want to say if any women disagree with this, they're now Republicans. And now you're saying with the other cis people. Fam. So this is one person that not only are they saying that, oh, we're going to change the definition of what you actually have and what you are actually naturally going through. Something that a lot of females are very sensitive about to begin with when it comes to periods, because there's a lot of stuff that plays into those factors. There are a lot of things that factor into, the natural becomings of being a woman. I'll just say that. So, and rightfully so. A lot of women are rightfully so very sensitive when it comes to that topic, when it comes to that part, of being a woman. And for you, someone who's born as a man or, a male, to now say, not only are they gatekeeping, but you want to change the definition of what they're going through. And then you want to now pretty much victim shame them if they want to say, hey, fam, you're out of line. But speaking of the end of the world, let's go over to another trans activist who claims that trans people can change their biological sex. Yeah, that's right. You heard me right. You heard me right. But again, much like the last horse, you're going to hear this one speak for itself.
Can trans people change their biological sex? Let's talk about the science of trans biology. Clinicians and biologists.
First of all, I just want to point out, I don't think there's a such thing as trans biology. I might catch a lot of flack for that, but I just want to say that. It doesn't make any sense. Trans and biology makes absolutely no sense. Anyways.
Understand sex as a composite variable, one that has many attributes, including chromosomes, reproduction, hormones, and anatomy.
I just want to say this as well. I'm sorry to keep interrupting, but if you guys want to watch the video without my commentary, obviously you wouldn't be watching this video. Does this not look like Michael Cera? I'm not trying to be entirely too funny, but right before I clicked play, I told myself, I was like, please do not let this be Michael Cera. I was like, I really hope Michael Cera's not following in the same footsteps as Ellen Page. I know they're both in Juno. Great movie, by the way. But I really hope he's not following her footsteps.
A trans person undergoes hormone replacement therapy. It changes many aspects of their biological sex. HRT gives you a hormonal profile identical to that of the sex you transition to, which induces real biological changes in your body. For trans women on HRT, we develop real breasts, female body odor, female body fat distribution, female hair patterns in both body hair and head hair, female muscle mass, female bone density, and even female bone structure if we start HRT early enough.
I don't know that to be true or not. I don't know too much about the whole. I know that there's a lot of weird stuff that they can do in terms of the HRT stuff. So I generally don't know. So I cannot comment on whether that's right or wrong or not. But we're going to get to the part where I do know what I'm talking about that I will speak on.
HRT also affects fertility, meaning that it changes the majority of your biological sex characteristics. A trans person on HRT ultimately obtains an intersex collection of biological traits that places them more in line with the sex they transition to than the sex they were assigned at birth. And it's important to classify us as such. For example, my doctor needs to know that I'm hormonally female because my risk of heart disease, bone disease, and most cancers is in line with females due to the reality of my biological sex.
So this is where that's wrong, because his biological sex is a male. So you cannot change your biological sex. This is where I was getting to, okay? So he's not at more risk of heart failure or any of that other shit because he is quote-unquote biologically female, because he's not. Probably because all the chemicals and all the weird shit that's been put into his system because of this shit is pretty much the reason why he's probably going to have heart failure or whatever the fuck. But it's gotten very ridiculous what's happening nowadays to where, yeah, you call yourself a trans activist. I mean, we just saw a trans activist just get arrested just last week over some very bad stuff. So you can't be walking around here and believing every person that turns on their TikTok camera and say that, oh, I'm a trans activist and this is the gospel. This is what it is. And then because you sit up here trying to look all smart and whatever, I don't care how many glasses you have. I don't care how many degrees you have. I don't care how many business outfits you have. Fam, you're a dude dressed up as a chick. I can only take you so serious. And then to say that you can change your biological sex, last time I checked, you can't. Where does this stop at? Where does this end?
Trans people aren't denying or erasing biological sex. We just prove that it's more complicated and changeable than we previously thought.
We can't even trust any scientists nowadays because the scientists are being paid off. You got whole corporations that won't even license you. They'll take away the license of scientists nowadays for disagreeing with shit. We've already seen it happen. That's why I always say, man, keep your head on straight during all this. Keep your head on straight during this entire clown world era. Because if you don't, you are going to fall into their traps. You're going to fall into the quote unquote trans activist traps of telling you that you can change that biological sex is interchangeable. Oh, the scientists have had it all wrong. Nature has had it all wrong. Periods are for everyone. Anybody can have a period. Anybody can give birth. Anybody can be a woman. Anybody can be a man. If you don't have your head on straight, fam, you're going to fall into the trap just like the rest of them. Make sure you guys hit that like, that subscribe, all that good stuff, man. It's the end of the world as we know it. So that's why I put the GIF up there, the end of the world kind of stuff, because it is. It's end of the world kind of stuff, man. It's your boy, Corn. It's Half-Ass Pod, and I am OUT.